So, last current affairs class eppadu jarigindi meeku? When Tuesday it happened, right? So what are the important topics of that class? Yanna gurtundaya? Your option. Jellyfish gurtunda. So what is jellyfish?
In the context of the aquatic beings.
Mostly fishes are aquatic beings. Yeah. So
talked about last week.
So jellyfish is poisonous or venomous?
Nothing.
Jellyfish don't have any venomous. Okay, so. It's not like that, but maybe some general awareness questions may come. General, like last time in 2024, there is one question about the butterflies, whether butterflies are poisonous or not, or frogs are poisonous or not.
Butterflies are poisonous.
Maybe there might be some species which are poisonous. Huh? Yeah, some species which may be poisonous. Indian. Yeah. Especially in the Amazon forest, you'll have the poisonous frogs. Okay, we'll start. Yeah. As part of our bi-weekly current affairs session. So this is the second session of this week. Okay. So we'll cover from 26 to 28, like the 3 days of current affairs. And this is the index. So have you all know the subjects of, like, how many papers are there in GS? So many. Yeah. How many? 4. So 4 papers are there. Now, why I am telling all this one is, whenever you have some current affairs topic, you should automatically know. The teacher should not mention that this topic belongs to this paper. So being an UPSC aspirant, you must categorize the topics based on the syllabus. So how many papers are there in GS? 4 papers. And GS1 consists which topics? History. So what kind of history?
Indian world.
Indian and world, post-independence. And what are the other topics? Geography. So what types of geography? Physical. Yeah. Physical geography. Human geography. Economic geography. Yeah. So what are the other topics? Is there any other topic remaining? Indian society. This is the GS1, the topics. What about GS2? So you should always have this one in your mind. Whenever you see a topic, you must identify this topic belongs to GS1 or GS2. Sometimes the topics will be like the duplication will be there. The same topic will also come under Indian society. The same topic will also come under human geography. And the same topic will also come under science and technology of GS3. So what are the topics will contain in the GS2? Polity and governance. And what are the other topic? International relations and social justice. Internal security will come under GS3. So what are the other topics comes under GS3? So this is simple knowledge, right? As an UPSC aspirant, you all must aware what are the topics contained in your main syllabus. You should not get confused. If someone asks internal security comes under which paper, you should not get confused. And only 3 papers you have to remember. So paper 1 is essay and GS4 is ethics. So only 3 papers you have to remember. And what are the other topics comes under GS3?
Environment.
Starting from the economy, environment, disaster management, science and tech, internal security. This is simple. You should not wait. You should automatically identify when there are some topics are there, especially in the current affairs or in your newspaper. It belongs to which paper. So now you can tell, like India's economic vulnerability, which comes under which? GS? GS3. And cooperatives? Cooperative society. Yeah, GS2. Mostly GS2. Yeah, economy also will come, but yeah. But mostly comes under GS2. So what about this 4th Chess World Cup in Goa? Why GS2? International relation. That is the most probable, but it is not very much important for the mains perspective. It is important for the prelims perspective. Even in the last 2025 paper, they already asked a question from the chess tournament. Also, in the previous PYQs also, there are multiple mentions of about the chess. So you should aware about the minimum knowledge of chess. What are the tournaments? Who are the important players? So next, INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri. What does it mean, INS? Huh? GS3? GS3 environment, how environment will come? No? Science and tech. So what does the meaning, the abbreviation like the INS means?
Indian National Service. Not sure, sir. INS.
Settled? Yeah. Indian naval ship. Whenever they always refer any vessel of Indian Navy with the Indian naval ship. Even with the submarine, they always mention Indian naval ship. So it comes under the defense part of science and technology. So which is GS3. So one nation, one subscription. So one nation, one subscription. What what does it mean? One nation, one subscription. Yeah, it has like some correlation with the OTT when we're discussing the topic.
Optical fibers are related to.
No, it's not related to optical fiber. So it belongs to science and tech part of GS3. So project Arohan, social justice. So ECI versus Rahul Gandhi's allegations. Which paper? GS2. So Jan Vishwas 2.0. Governance again. GS2. So PM JDY. Jan Dhan Yojana. GS3 economy, but also social justice, it will come first in GS2 and 3. Okay? So that's how you have to understand the themes. This is very fundamental in the current affairs. First one, the false righteousness. This is also about the GS. So maybe the proper description was not there, so it's very difficult for you to identify. So these are the topics. The 10 topics we'll discuss today, and we'll go from the first topic. So the false righteousness. What does it mean by the word righteousness? Being. What is the Telugu translation for the word righteousness? Perfect. Yeah. Dharma. So can you give some example of that?
Ashoka's Dharma.
Ashoka's? No, like, perfect. Yeah. He followed his dharma after the Kalingas, especially after the Kalingas war. So here, in a single snapshot, what this editorial or what this article tells that, so Supreme Court itself, it is thinking that it is on a righteousness part, but it is in a false righteousness part, because it is asking the government to enact a bill to curb the online abuses, especially on the physically handicapped. So, but we will see what it is exactly. Anyway, I have given which topics which belongs to. So, what is the background of this story? What is the background? A petition was filed over derogatory online remarks against the disabled persons. So, what does it mean by a petitions here? You should know what does it mean by a petitions. Petition, darakhast, but in Supreme Court. What is Article 32? Writ petitions. Writs. Yeah. So anyone, it is kind of like anyone can file a petition because it's a fundamental right. So if you see anything wrong in the society, you can go to High Court or the Supreme Court and you can file a petition. Similarly, someone filed a petition. So, but the whole case is not important, but what Supreme Court said is very important. The Supreme Court urged the Union government to draft guidelines regulating social media speech. So, is it good for the society or not? Supreme Court urged. This is very, very rare case. Only some specific cases only Supreme Court will ask government to make the regulations, especially social media. Already we have the social media regulations. But again, government is asking the Supreme Court to make more stronger regulations, which is not good for the democracy. So why it is not good for the democracy? Yeah, freedom of speech and expression will definitely affect. So there is a thin line between the distasteful and the criminal speech. So you should not take every distasteful things into a criminal speech. So what does it mean by the distasteful and the criminal speech? Distasteful means?
Something which is not good.
Can anyone tell some example to explain these words distasteful versus criminal speech? Because if you don't understand these two words, you can't understand this article.
So criminal speech is provoking others to do something wrong, some wrong activity.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. What about the distasteful things?
Distasteful is something which the society does not accept. Which are considered as a taboo or sort of something.
Yeah, which can be not comfortable for others to listen, but that doesn't mean those are instigating or criminal in nature.
So not provoking in
So, can someone give some example?
criminal speech is
Okay, criminal speech is fun. What about the distasteful things? Distasteful things from smaller to bigger things. Same. Like,
Arjun Reddy movie.
you can say, like, we can go more milder, not very strong. Like, if you say, if a Telangana person went to Andhra for marriage, if Telangana person went to Andhra for marriage, and he will be shocked if there is no non-vegetarian in the marriage.
They will not marry only.
They will not marry only. Yeah. So if he say that strongly that, so this is very utter shit, like something like that, very badly, he curse, like this is not the way we do marriages and all. This is very distasteful for other person to listen. But it is not a criminal offense. It is not a criminal. He is expressing his distastefulness. But it is not instigating someone or sensitivizing someone's religion, like that. So this is a very thin line. So you should not criminalize these kind of distasteful. What will happen if even you started to criminalize these kind of distasteful things? What will happen if government comes more strongly, and if it is starting to criminalize even a smaller these kind of votes? What will happen to the democracy, and what will happen to the society as a whole? What will happen? So the court, yeah, freedom
will be.
The right to freedom will be in the jeopardy. Like it will be. Yeah. The court here, in this case, the court responded to the petition by focusing on regulating speech on social media. And distasteful humor, although offensive, is not a criminal speech. So why court is recommending them? Here the problem is, actually in the case someone said something wrong about some disabled persons, like those persons some with the spinal disorder, like spending so much money on them, like it's kind of a waste, something like this. This is some background of this story. So these people, some people who strongly support the disabled person, they got it means they were very much sensitized with these kind of votes. So they filed a petition in the court, and the court said you have to take these votes very seriously, and it guided the government to make some regulations. So in this article they are criticizing the Supreme Court's order. So you should not make every distasteful comment as a criminal offense. So what will happen? The societal impact, if government started to criminalize the distasteful things, what will happen? The film producers and directors avoid the sensitive and
primary key difference
that is distasteful is nothing but key difference. So criminal speech and end. What does it mean by criminal things? If some Rajkీయ నాయకుడు or the politician instigate the people, is called criminal speech or a provoking speech. Just wait, I will show one. Have you heard the name M.F. Hussain? Painting. Some people may not like. Some people may not. So many people, they objected the M.F. Hussain by portraying the God in such a manner. It is not a tasteful or distasteful for some people because they don't want their religious deities to portray in this kind of manner. But it is not also instigating. It is not instigating. So that is the best difference between the distasteful and the criminal. If it is instigating, if it is provoking, then it will become the criminalized offense. Yeah, that is the best example. So you understand, Nikhil? Difference between the distasteful and the criminal. So what is the societal impact if government started to make the regulations even on the distasteful things? So these are the societal impacts. So everyone will become sensitized and the freedom of expression will be curtailed. Even the films or the movies where you have a lot of freedom of expression. So they will be very much sure. So they are unable to bring the reality to the public. And obviously, every law will weaponize the ruling government. Every law will weaponize the ruling government. So what does it mean? Especially these kind of law will weaponize the ruling government.
They use this as weapon against
The opposition. So that is also one of the very high risk in this case. And journalists who face FIRs for their professional work. And fundamental rights became the conditional and rather than, you heard the term basic structure. Is the fundamental rights is the basic structure of the constitution.
Case by case.
Yeah, being the Supreme Court, who should protect the basic structure of the constitution, here it is advising the government to bring the regulations on the, even on the distasteful things. So which is not acceptable for the society. So judiciary should act as a guardian. The judiciary's constitutional role is to protect the constitutional rights in a democracy. But recent Supreme Court directives risk the enabling government overreach for free speech. Already there are some certain rules are there. If someone say, even if you comment on online. Have you heard the case Shreya Singhal versus Union of India? Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. What does it case? Anyone can recall the when Bal Thackeray died, so some girls in Maharashtra, they kept some comments which is not nice. Yeah. So the government arrested those girls. So the Shreya Singhal, she is an advocate. She filed a case, and the whole weapon they used to arrest those people is these IT rules, especially the IT rules 66A. This act they have used to arrest. And in the Shreya Singhal versus Union of India case, the Supreme Court struck down this part 66A of IT rules act. So that's what Supreme Court, not just UPSC, even the Supreme Court is unpredictable. So these are some issues. It expands the executive power over the free speech. So you heard the terminology limited government or the limited government or the limited governance. Sorry, limited government you heard. What does it mean by the limited government?
What context?
Limited government. So the role of a government or the constitution to propose the limited government means the hold of a government on the people should be limited. So they will have the liberty and freedom. So instead of advocating, a Supreme Court should be a guarantor of that constitution. Instead of advocating or promoting this limited government, it is making the government to control the fundamental rights, which means, which can obstruct the basic fundamental rights of a person. So these are some effects. So what are the constitutional provisions? Supreme Court is telling that you have to make the regulations. But there are some constitutional provisions which are already there in our constitution, which can stop the hateful speeches. But at the same time, it also affects these kind of fundamental rights in the government. What does Article 19 tells in the Indian Constitution? You finished all the fundamental rights, right?
Yes.
Fundamental rights finished, man? You have finished fundamental rights? You join, yeah. So what is Article 19 tells? Right to speech. Yeah, it guarantees the freedom of speech and expression. But it allows the reasonable restrictions on freedom of speech in interest of sovereignty, public order and decency. So you should be careful with both. So the rights always comes with restrictions and duties also. So rights always comes with restrictions and duties. So this is the Act we talked. The section 66A of IT Act. IT Act means income tax. Information and technologies. Because not just the direct comments or the written comments which physically you do. Even though you use your mobile devices or your laptops or the computers and make some derogatory comments. So those are also punishable by law, especially the IT Act. So what is the conclusion? So this is very important. Even you understand the article, this is very important. The judiciary here must protect the constitutional freedom, not widen the government powers. But here in this article, the Supreme Court is exactly doing this. It is widening the government powers. It is weaponizing the government. And hate speech is punishable by law. Censoring humor or artistic expression causes the fear and conformity. Have you all watched the JB movie?
Yes, sir.
JB. It's good. So what it will tell us?
Misuse of power by police.
Yeah. So as a court itself, it should protect the commoner. Because as a simple man, he can't go anywhere except the court. And court always should lighten the pressure of government on the public. It should not increase the pressure. So here in this judgment, Supreme Court is exactly doing that. The Supreme Court should guard liberty, not assess the limiting it. Phone? Yeah, you can keep it silent. So, what do you understand from this article? Simple, as a whole, just in 2 lines.
Like
Judicial activism.
Judicial overreach and activism, yeah. Instead of Supreme Court have to protect the liberty of a public, it is advocating the government to widen its power, to curtail the liberty of the public. So, we'll go to the next article. India's economic vulnerability and the gender angle, especially with this article is related with the US tariffs. So just imagine, just think, without going into article, just give some work to your brain, how these tariffs, US tariffs, will affect the gender angle, or will affect some particular gender, especially women. Yeah, women. In the economic angle, especially. So one of the chief exports to US is textiles and leather. And which gender is employed in manufacturing of these things is women. So if the tariffs rise from yesterday, right, 27th, it was 50%. So 50% of tariffs are imposed right now, because for example, a good is exporting to US as 100 rupees, the total amount. So he will add 50% of it as a tariff. So it will be available 150 rupees per US citizen. If, for example, if you take 2 countries, so India, so it is exporting 100 rupees goods with 50% tariff, it becomes 150 rupees. And we'll take another example. It is making the same good for 120 rupees. And it is exporting to US, and the final price will be, if there is no tariffs on it. Maybe it was there, but I just bring it as an example, but it is not the same scale of, even the final good cost of Vietnam is more, but when it enters to the US market, so it becomes more cheaper compared to the India. Yeah. So as a normal consumer, people generally, wherever you go to the world, they are always price conscious. How many times, even from the Galwan clash, Indian government advocated to move away from the Chinese phones. However, people didn't move away from the Chinese phones. Still we use the Oppo, Vivo very happily. everything. Oppo, Vivo, so almost all the phones mostly are Chinese phones. So this is what the scenario will be. If Indian goods is getting, means in US, if it is more costly, then obviously US citizens will not buy the Indian goods. They will choose for another country's goods. Definitely they will choose for the another, because that is cheaper compared to the US goods. So what will happen? If Indian goods become expensive in US, what is the consequences? So exports will be less. Okay. Now we relate with the gender. Relate with the gender. Women employability will be affected. So if the US citizens will not buy the Indian goods, definitely the manufacturers can't pay the salaries to the women working in their companies. So if the women can't get their salaries, their household, their children's education, everything will be affected. As simple as that. So everything in the world is connected to everything. There is one theory, right? Butterfly effect. Yeah. I will not tell about which topic it belongs to which paper. Like you understand, right? Now, like it belongs to social justice, economy. Yeah, you can bring, even you can use it in the Indian society also. So now, what is the context? Indian economy is growing fast. Now valued at 4.19 trillion and become to the third largest globally. So which is the third largest economy right now? Germany. Yeah, that's true. And fourth? Fourth is India. So however, the US proposed the 50% tariffs on 40 billion of Indian exports, threaten nearly 1% of GDP loss. 50% tariffs item valla Indian GDP la 1% loss we have to face. Especially the women sector, the women gender will going to affect a lot. So labor intensive sectors, textiles like gems, leather, footwear, these kind of things are, even if you go any kind of top brands like stores in US, like the H&M, Zara, this kind of, you will find some kind of textiles made in India. So it means which is manufactured by the Indian women. So if those goods are getting costly, expensive, so these people definitely will get affected. So what is the impact on women employment? The US accounts for 18% of India's total goods and tariff hikes, which makes the Indian goods 30 to 35%. If 50% tariffs valla Indian goods will become 30 to 35% costly. So costly, especially than the competitors like Vietnam. Vietnam has lesser tariffs compared to. So what are the two reasons of tariffs on India? Milk exports. Buying Russian oil is one cause. And what is the another issue? There is a long time issue from the US that it want to introduce its milk, dairy and agri products into the Indian markets. But Indian government is not allowing. Why?
It will impact Indian. We have a major
not gene modified. No. We don't go until there. We'll go like we'll stay in the basic.
It will affect Indian economy.
So India is the world largest producer of milk and also consumer also. And when it comes to the agriculture, still even today more than nearly 50%, right? More than 50% of people rely on the agriculture. But in US, so mostly the agriculture is corporate style of agriculture they do. Means they will take the huge thousands of acres, it will be cultivated by some company. So even we looks like like those are more sophisticated and much cheaper compared to our agriculture products. So when we allow the agriculture products from US to enter into Indian market, definitely as a consumer me, if I go to Ratndeep, if I get the milk or the yogurt cheaper, means I always check the cost. If I get the US yogurt cheaper than the Indian yogurt, definitely I will go for the US yogurt. So who will get affected? Indian farmer obviously will get affected. So that's why government kept some gateway by not allowing the US products into India. As simple as that. So what are the sectors at risk? Because of these US tariffs, 1% of GDP will get affected. But what are the sectors at risk? Textiles, gems, jewelries, leather, footwear. Together they employ around 50 million workers, and in these 50 million, most of the workforce is women. So they are all going to affect. Export may shrink up to 50%. So exports to US because of these tariffs will shrink. And low female workforce participation. Already India is having very low compared to the global averages. Like for example, if you take China, Korea, Japan, they have more than nearly 70-80% of female workforce participation is there, which is good for economy. If female workforce participation is more, then it is good, or not. It
Participation.
why? So what happens to women if they participate in the workforce? GDP as a whole it will increase, but what it will do to their household? Yeah, more household income. They can invest in their best education for their child, or they can bring some new kind of electronic equipments into their house, and they can get their healthcare, better healthcare. So many things. Yeah, they can build their new home. So like you have to remember one thing, like global average participation rate of women in workforce is 60%, but we are at 37 to 41% only. Still we have to do a lot. So what are the measures? So government has taken some measures to increase the women in the labor force participation. So what are the measures? Karnataka Shakti scheme, and Telangana also we have that free bus scheme. What is the free bus scheme name? Andhra. Mahalakshmi scheme of Telangana. What is the name of Andhra? Ashtalakshmi. There is no, so many. Stree Shakti scheme is for Andhra. Yeah. Not Sri, Stree. So what is the benefits of availing this scheme to women? So many people criticized, right?
They come out of their house.
Yeah, so many people did some distasteful comments. Yeah. But what is the benefits it will bring to the women and to the economy? Women empowerment, like how?
They can roam around the city.
Yeah, they can roam around the city, and yeah, in one way it's true. They can roam around the city and they can get wherever they are paying much better. For example, in workplace they are paying 10,000. If she goes 1 kilometer far, if she is getting 12,000 or 13,000, obviously with the transportation is free and she can happily go.
Remote areas, the workplace is far.
Yeah. So for having that better connectivity, the free bus travel, 40% rise in female mobility, boosting the work and education access. So with these kind of schemes, the Sri Shakti, Mahalakshmi or Karnataka Shakti scheme, which helps the 40% rise in the female mobility, and which definitely empowers the women. So for women empowerment, here one of the key point is providing a good transportation facility is also very important. And there are some other schemes, the Rajasthan's Indira Gandhi Urban Employment Guarantee schemes. So, yeah. So these are some important things. What? Greening. Where is greening? Greening and care work. Greening in the sense like garden kind of work. So all these kind of works are like which associated with the plants and all. These are all comes under the green. So here also we added some international best examples which promoting the labor force participation, especially the female labor force participation. For example, if you take the US, they are paying the equal pay and child care during the World War II, boosted the women's labor participation. Means from World War II, when it was happened, the World War II? 1939. When it ended? 1945, it ended. So from there onwards, the US is encouraging the women participation in the workforce. And China also, China's reforms raised the female participation to 60%. And what is the global average of women participation in the workforce? 60%. Same with the China. And Japan, Korea, these are all companies, especially the Southeast Asian countries, they all give high importance to the women workforce. So which in return help to raise their GDP. So that is one thing. And they have given one model, the Netherlands part-time work model, suits women preferences in India. So what is this Netherlands part-time work model? In Netherlands, women can choose so the time limit or the time of their workplace. Yeah, like 4 hours, 5 hours, and remaining time they can spend with their family. So here they are in this article they are advising that so India should implement these kind of schemes into India. So the Netherlands mode, but it won't easy for India as India is a very developing economy, but Netherlands is a completely developed economy. So this maybe it won't that easy for India to implement these kind of Netherlands type of models. So the conclusion, empowering women is not just a matter of social justice but also economic necessity. So this first point is very, very important. So the empowering women is not just a matter of social justice but also important for economic necessity. So if India want to be a developed country by 2047, it should actively involve its female workforce into the economy. They should take to more than 60 or 70%. So unlocking the potential of working age women is vital for harnessing the demographic dividend and strengthening export competitiveness and ensuring the balanced development. So what does this point tells? Simple. What do you understand from this point?
Increase workforce participation.
Workforce participation increase aite, so the productivity also will be increased. So in the global scale, if the productivity is increased, so our goods will become more cheaper. So everyone will try to buy the goods from India. So which will improve our economy. So that is as simple as that. So India's aspiration to emerge as a global leader depends on sustained investment in its women, paving the way for the resilience, prosperity and inclusive growth. So that is the second. So what do you understand from this article? So as a rising economy like India, they should definitely invest in women participation or skilling the women and actively involving into their in the economical activities. So that is very important. So next, the cooperatives. What does it mean by cooperatives?
Cooperative societies.
What does it mean by cooperative? Maybe you heard from your childhood somewhere or other side. You may have seen the headings, the cooperative bank or cooperative societies. What does it exactly means? A milk cooperative. Group of people come together and they form the cooperatives. So especially here we are talking about the cooperative banks. So India has got the National Cooperative Policy 2025. This is very important. Is cooperative state subject or central subject?
Cooperatives,
No, not concrete. But initially it is a state subject. No, state subject. Cooperatives are very much a state subject. Only the multi-state cooperatives. There is a clear definition that multi-state cooperatives. What does it mean by the multi-state cooperatives?
Like interstate, the people come from interstate and different states.
If the society has extended to multiple states, so then automatically it will fall under the national. Especially the central list. So recently the government has brought these national cooperative policies, and obviously the state governments which are not in the lines of central government, especially they're like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Telangana. They are all opposing these national cooperative policies. So for these articles also you have to understand some simple thin lines. So these cooperative societies are mostly, we are talking here is banks, the cooperative banks. So why government is actively imposing restrictions on these banks or trying to reform these banks? For example, if there is some cooperative bank like a Krishna Cooperative Bank or some kind of district cooperative bank. So agriculture. So even till today, more than 50% of our Indian population is actively involved in the agriculture. So these cooperative loans, these cooperative banks which use loans to these farmers. So which actively, deliberately or actively they can influence the political lineage or the political ideology. For example, if you belong to support some party, if the cooperative bank is supported by some party, then definitely if your ideologies matches, then you will get the quicker loan. Whatever, but you understand the concept here. You understand the concept here. The cooperative banks, definitely they have a larger say in the, especially in the rural regions. Because for farmer, everything he has to get the loan from the cooperative bank. If the cooperative bank is supported by the BJP or some other state government, so definitely this farmer have a positive opinion about that party. That is one thing. So Kerala, it is opposing this national cooperative policy, and we'll also see what is this national cooperative policy. And the Kerala opposes it, calling it an unconstitutional and intrusion into the state powers, escalating the center-state tensions over cooperative federalism. So whenever state brings whenever center brings something, it is very common for these some states to oppose. So just we don't, maybe sometimes it can be true. What they are telling is sometimes it may be true, sometimes it may not be true. But they are actively involving in influencing the state policies. So for example, if Kerala has a which government right now? Communist government. And center?
BJP.
Left and right.
What left and right?
Leftist and rightist ideologies. Communists will think about socialist kind of things.
Congress is a leftist party or right wing party? Huh? Centrist party.
Centralist.
So we'll talk about this case. If Kerala is run by communist government and state is running by BJP. If BJP want to exert its force or power on the Kerala, what things it has to do? What kind of weapons it has? Huh? So Kerala is governing by communist party, and which is not very much, they don't like very much about the BJP, especially after the Kerala story and some kind of films. There are some films, Kerala story, and so those things definitely it is a like we can't say, but some kind of hidden agenda. So definitely it will be there. So if BJP want to exert its control on Kerala, what are the things it has to do?
Don't release funds.
Don't release fund. That is one thing. It won't release like for GST allocations or some kind of what are the devolutions center had to support the state. It won't give. For example, now we can see there are a lot of news about the Andhra is getting so many projects.
The MPs will not be given enough time to speak in the parliament.
No, that's okay. But Andhra government, it is getting more projects from the center. So why? No, it's not like Chandrababu or Pawan Kalyan. It's not like that because it was in the coalition to the BJP. Then why other southern states are not getting those projects? Because Bengaluru, Karnataka is a Congress government, so definitely it won't get. Telangana, Congress, it won't get. Tamil Nadu, definitely they will. Yeah, Kerala. So only in the south, the most favorable state for BJP is Andhra Pradesh, AP. So obviously they are getting so many. Yesterday also, have you seen the news? They got the $6 billion Google's investment. $6 billion for Google data center. It is one of the Asia's biggest data center. Is constructed in Vizag. So here, when it comes to the cooperatives, so the Kerala have a long history of the cooperatives even before the independence. Even before the independence. So, is all right? Yeah. Yeah. So the one more important rule why these central government, especially BJP, want to control these cooperative banks was, especially these state cooperatives hold a lump sum amounts, very large amounts, especially when it comes to the Kerala. It has a 3 lakh crores in their cumulative banks, cumulative cooperative banks. These all money which will be disbursed as a loans to farmers or some other people. So if it went into the same lines of the BJP, so definitely in an indirect way it will support the BJP. So it will strengthen the BJP's hold in the Kerala or any state. So that is what the Kerala is arguing. If you want to taking the control of the cooperatives with your new policies, so these 3 lakhs in the Kerala's cooperative cumulatively, which will be disbursed as per the BJP lines. So the people will have a positive opinion about the BJP in the state. So that's why the government is actively involved in these cooperative societies. So the economic role, the handle of nearly 3 lakh crore deposits, vital for the rural families, especially for the agriculture loans. So previously we have 3-tier process, like the district cooperative banks are there, state cooperative banks are there, central. So what happened? The district cooperative banks are merged with the state cooperative banks. You see, state cooperative. Previously it was a district cooperative, they are merged with the state cooperatives. But what central government is telling, because there are so much fraud is happening with the cooperative banks. So much fraud is happening with these cooperative banks. So that's why we want to regularize this kind of frauds. So that's why we brought the National Cooperative Policy 2025. Break on. Ever mancholla? Center mancholla? Okay. Yeah, because there is some scams. The Karunur fraud shook the public trust. So if there is some, it doesn't mean like you cannot completely blame the system. Like PNB, Punjab National Bank, 12,500 crores of scam. So which happened in our BJP government only. So it means they completely demolished the banks? No, right? So mistakes will happen. Every 1 hour break, 2 hours lo అయిపోద్ది నేను ఇంకా తక్కువలోనే అయిపోద్దని చూసాను. Okay. So I think it won't finish. Okay. Just 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తున్నారు? సో 5 minutes 3:10 కి నేను ఖచ్చితంగా క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాను. ఇట్స్ 3:05 రైట్? 3:10 I will start.
3:59 seconds.
Okay. So just 5 minutes. No. Giving some kind of regulations. But it will tighten the control of. As per the constitution, the state cooperative should be in the control of state, not from the government control. In a indirect way, they want to tighten the control of. Other chuddam. Like we'll discuss. We have the national cooperative policy. We'll see in the next slide after 5 minutes. Resume the class. So as we discussed, the cooperative societies are in the central list or the state list. State list. Initially in the state list, but 97th amendment which added some kind of things and also which brought the multi-state cooperatives into the central list. So the union list has the regulation to do the multi-state cooperatives. The cooperative society extends to multiple states, then automatically it will fall under the center. But Supreme Court specifically told that cooperative societies are meant for states only, not for the central. So central should not do, easily it should not interfere in the cooperative societies. But government won't listen easily. First we'll go to, First we'll discuss about this. What exactly is this national cooperative policy? So this is all, this article which we are talking is just because of this policy, national cooperative policy. So what is the objective of bringing this policy is triple the cooperative sector's GDP share by 2034. So 50 crore members, one cooperative in every village. And transparency, sustainability and digital integration. Empowering women, tribals, Dalit youth, build a self-reliant ecosystem by 2047. Because the government it is telling that we brought this policy same within the lines of the Vikasit Bharat 2047. What is Vikasit Bharat 2047? Vikasit Bharat 2047 is a developed, because India want to be, it want to project it as a developed country by 2047. In the same lines, so it brought the national cooperative policy. So these are the objectives of this national cooperative policy. But Kerala is objecting this policy because it is strengthening the center's hold on the cooperative societies. So state, center versus Kerala, especially in the case of this national cooperative policy. So what Kerala is telling, because the Kerala cooperative societies are holding 3 lakhs crores of rupees. 3 lakhs crores of rupees. 3 lakhs crores. So having that much say on the 3 lakhs crores, which means it can also politically bring their ideologies into the state easily. So that's what Kerala is telling. Push for and central directives, push for the central laws. But what center is telling? This is what state is telling. But what center is telling? We are pushing for the technical integration and the coordination with the national bodies and seen as an autonomy encroachment. But it is seeing it as an autonomy encroachment because the cooperative societies work autonomously under the state government. But if they integrate these cooperative societies into the national scale, definitely it also have to listen the central government also. So that's what the Kerala is opposing. And the funding leverage. The Kerala fears denial of central financial aid if it resists the policy. So ultimately, central government cannot bring the cooperatives directly into the only states has to align these cooperative societies with the central architecture. But if the state won't do this, even the Kerala is telling that these are the effects, but if it won't do, what will happen? Simple. The central government will not release funds to the state. So it makes the states to definitely depend on the center. What? No. This is devolution is the GST and tax, these kind of devolutions. If state is not listening to center, what will happen? It can't attack you directly, but it will attack indirectly. Yeah. So definitely for the funds, you will align your policies along with the national policies. So that's why the central government is way more powerful than the state governments. So what are the challenges? The financial irregularities. This is what the central government is telling. There are a lot of financial irregularities are happening. So that's why we brought this national cooperative policies. The fraud, failure to repay depositors. Many incidents are happened. So that's why they are telling that we have brought this national cooperative policies. And the government response was strengthened laws in 2023 for audits and accountability, implementation hurdles, resistance to merging into MSCs like the main scale cooperative societies or adopting to the centralized rules. So just want to streamline these cooperative societies. That is the whole point of this article. It want to streamline. So this is the conclusion. The Kerala's cooperative society face pressures of urbanization, youth aspirations and technological change. The crossroads. What does it mean by the crossroads? Crossroads. And RTC crossroads? When? Yeah, no. When two roads cross. Yeah. So, after even meet out the balanced tradition, modernization and the state autonomy while ensuring the transparency. So, definitely the cooperative federalism is in crossroads. This adaptation will shape both Kerala's rural economy and the federal structure of the cooperatives in India. So what government is telling is good because it want to align this cooperative society to realize the dream of Vikasit Bharat. But the core ideology should be very pure, what it's thinking. If it only want to use it as a weapon to control the state governments, then it's not good. Definitely not good. There is a Chess World Cup in Goa from 30 October to 27, like tomorrow, from tomorrow. So this is important from the brain's perspective. So who are the top players of chess players from India? So how many people here play chess? C chess. Idrunnara? Yeah. So who are the top players in chess? Because last time in prelims also they have asked the question. Mukesh. So how many people are from AP and how many people are from Telangana here? So from Telangana, who is the grandmaster from Telangana? So who is the famous chess player from the Telangana? Koner Hampi is from Vijayawada. Okay. Arjun Iragesi is one of the great grandmaster from the Telangana. Not Arjun. Okay, you can remember the names like that. Yeah. No. Yeah, you have to remember those. And who is the world chess champion today? Gukesh. So you all should also remember the international Magnus Carlsen. Yeah. Dingley and Fabiano Corona and here. Yeah. Nepo Minacci. Nepo. They call him as a Nepo. So just you should have some basic idea like how the cricket, who are the top players. Like even in the chess, you should also have some just idea of the top players and the recent tournaments whenever it is happening. Because almost 3 questions they are asked in the prelims, like the 3 years. They can ask. So these are some important chess tournaments. The World Chess Championship, FIDE Candidate Tournament and FIDE World Cup. And now it is happening this one in India. FIDE is like it is a governing body of chess. Federation, International, D Chess, something. It's a French abbreviation. The headquarters is in Switzerland. That is next. Like you. So, multi-mission frigates. So at the same time, so they commissioned 2 warships same time. That is one of the major breakthrough in the defense. Yeah, in Visakhapatnam. So the Atmanirbharata was no longer a slogan; it's a reality. What does it tell us?
Make in India.
Yeah, make in India. This was a slogan given by the Rajnath Singh. Who is the Rajnath Singh? Defense Minister. So when he is commissioning these 2 ships, he gave this slogan. What this slogan tells? Self-reliant India.
Like India can manufacture.
Is no longer just a slogan because we are manufacturing these ships, these both ships, around more than 75%. 75% of the content of this manufacturing was Indian made. So last class, as I remembered, I also given the difference between the frigate and the destroyer. Anyone remember? What is the simple difference between the frigate and the destroyer?
Frigate can carry helicopters, like normal ships. While a destroyer have missile ships.
Carriers and there
Simple. I will give you a simple definition. The destroyer is the biggest warship. It is like a 350cc Royal Enfield.
frigate is smaller version.
Frigate is like a 150cc Pulsar. So which both the roles are same.
Both doesn't allow flights to come. Carriers allow.
So they carry the helicopters. So what is the both roles? Like a 150cc bike also they use for the transportation. 350cc or bike also they use for the transportation. But the 350cc bike can have the higher endurance. So it can travel the longer distance and carry the heavy load. So that is a simple difference between the frigates and destroyers. So both are a warship. Both have the same kind of armaments. But when destroyer comes, it has the more quantity of the armaments. Both have the missiles, both have the guns. But when it comes to the destroyer, it has more number. And it has a higher range also. And also weight also. Like the frigates around 6,000 to 7,000 tons. And the destroyers are 12,000, about 10,000 tons. Because obviously it carries the more number of weapons. So it has more weight. And these 2 ships were constructed under MDL, Mumbai, and GRSC. These both are very important ship construction companies. So Mazagaon Dock Limited and GRSC, Garden Reach Shipping and Engineers. So these are the ship constructing companies who constructed these 2 ships. So these are part of Project 17A frigates. Project 17A is a Nilgiri class. Nilgiri class. These all frigates have the names of mountains. Udaygiri, Nilgiri, Himgiri. Yeah. Significance. This is the 101st warships designed by Indian Navy's Warship Design Bureau. So Indian Navy had a one warship design bureau. So they will design all their naval ships. And 75%, around the 75% plus content was from the Indian made. So that's why this is the very good example for Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what are the futures of these ships? This is very important because even in the mains perspective also they may ask the question. Prelims perspective also they will ask the question. Especially when it comes to the prelims, you have the higher probability. Because even in the mains, they are asking today what is the important features of S-400 missile system. So there are like those kind of questions are coming. So you should also have some basic idea about the defense technology, especially when it comes to the missiles. If you take any exam, state exams, group 1, group 2, central exams, you should have some basic idea of, about defense, what India is doing in the defense. So the stealth technology, what does it mean by the stealth technology? These are the stealth frigates. So what is the difference between the stealth frigates and normal frigates? So, so the radar cross section, radar cross section for the stealth frigates is very small, because if normal ship have higher radar cross section, and this stealth technology, the stealth technology doesn't mean just a design changes, design and materials. If they do these kind of changes to any equipment, so they can convert into the stealth. So instead of this big ship, which you say radar signature of a boat, in the stealth, sorry. Is it okay? Yeah, fine. Stealth technology లో ఏమవుతుంది అంటే లైక్ ద లార్జర్ షిప్ ని ఒక చిన్న బోట్ సైజ్ రేడార్ క్రాస్ సెక్షన్ కి తీసుకొచ్చింది అనమాట. సో ఇన్ ద ఎనిమీ రేడార్స్ ఇట్ షోస్ లైక్ ఏ స్మాల్ ఫిషింగ్ బోట్. సో వాట్ దే థింక్ దట్ they will think that it is not a naval ship, it is a fishing boat. So they will think it is not a threat. So that's why it will manipulate or subdue the enemy. So these are the stealth frigates. So that is very important. And also it contains the anti-ship missiles. So what kind of missiles usually a naval ship contains? ఒక naval ship లో ఏమేం types of weapons ఉంటాయి? This is also very important. Defensive weapons ఉంటాయి. Always the weapons classification will be in the two types, offensive and defensive. When I say BrahMos, it's an offensive or defensive? Offensive, because it will attack the enemy. So the BrahMos is a classic example of offensive. And what is the defensive? What is S-400? Yeah, that is one best example of defensive. And also when it comes to the ship, yeah. So I'm asking the defensive and offensive capabilities. Especially the offensive BrahMos is a classic example of offensive. Because any warship, it should have the both possibilities. It should protect itself from the enemy fire, and it should also attack the enemy. So a ship always contains these things, defensive and offensive. When for offensive they use the BrahMos. We can carry, but S-400 is too huge for a ship to carry.
For defensive purpose, we can't use S-400 in ship.
S4 we can't use. Yeah, we have to for on the land. S400 can use, but S400 has a cumulative of multiple systems. So a ship is very. It's not like a land which can't bear like lot of weight. For even every kg on the ship matters. So it can't accommodate higher weight systems.
Density of the ship will increase.
Yeah. So now the frigate will go until 20,000 tons or 30,000 tons. So for that they are carrying only the ARK 8, which has the range until 70 to 80 kilometers. This is for defensive purpose, because if some enemy warship attacks through missile, so by using the ARK 8 it can defend. So that is the simple. A ship has two roles, offensive and defensive. Offensive case they use the BrahMos type of missiles, and defensive case they use the ARK 8 kind of missiles. And these frigates they have the both offensive and defensive systems. But in case of destroyers, the number of missiles which carry the offensive and defensive, the load will be higher. Here, if it carries 32 missiles here, they will carry 64 there in the destroyers. That is simple. Like the Royal Enfield can carry more weight comparing to the 150cc bike. So why these warships are very important? Because India has a vast coastal zone. Yeah, and it has the larger ocean to control. So definitely the naval capabilities are very much in the high interest of India. And if anything happens in the Indian Ocean region, so India will be the first responder. So that's why the increasing the naval capabilities are very much important. Yeah. And the geostrategy, the safeguard the vital sea lanes, energy routes in the Arabian Sea, because everything, for example, India's energy, the oil, everything will come under from here. Straight. So for that it need very important. Malacca is here. This is Malacca Strait. Hormuz is here. This is Hormuz Strait. So to protect the shipping lines, so it need the naval ships. And the policy linkages, the Sagar vision, security for growth and all. Sagar vision. So India has one Sagar vision, security and growth for all, especially the neighborhood first policy as part of its neighborhood first policy, and also the look east policy. So which it want to maintain a very good relations with the neighbors. Initially it want to maintain a very good relations with the especially Southeast Asian countries. And they also started one organization. Which organization? Southeast Asian organization. They started one organization. SARC. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So that is the first organization they started, and so the Pakistan, it has did all it can to stop every policy in that SARC. So they sidelined the SARC now, and they focused on the BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Cooperation. So these kind of organizations, the regional organizations, very important. So the naval ships are very much important. So now we'll come to the sixth, one nation, one subscription. So what does it mean, the one nation and one subscription? One nation, one OTT. Yeah, you can relate with this OTT. One subscription and like we always think about the OTT subscription. GS3 question, yeah. So the one nation, one subscription scheme fill the gap left behind the Sci-Hub.
So like a single identity card is used for voting as well as for citizens.
No. The whole concept, maybe many times it came in the news, right? I think this is so many times we are discussing this one nation, one subscription. I think Adik sir also many times discussed, even I previously discussed.
So
Simple answer, eh?
just the communication.
Simple straightforward answer. Absent. Huh?
It bridges the gap between the researchers in the country.
Yeah, especially you are from IIT Bombay, right? So what is the global ranking of IIT in the world?
132.
Yeah, something. Yeah, that's enough. So for research, for example, for research, we need the research publications. You need research. For example, if I did my PhD, so when I'm doing my PhD, to conduct research, I have to see what the other researchers are doing in my same field. So I will collect every research paper which I want to do. So for that research papers, for publishing those research papers, and that organization who are providing that research papers, it will charge some money. It will charge some money. Usually it's in very high cost. So usually for each paper it will be like $20, $30, something like that. So I will show one example. Just wait.
Is that your profession?
Yeah, it's my profile. It's an ad. So it is not giving the complete text. It is not giving the complete text. So when a researcher publishes his research, so they will publish in some organization. If some other person they want to see that research, so they have to pay some money to see. Access through your organization, like you can keep. No. So you have to give so you can purchase directly. Like for example, you see how much it is showing. The same research article which I published, if you want to download and see what the research you have to do, you have to pay that much. So $24, which means how much? $24 means how much? Yeah, 2,500. So for a researcher, at least he need for one work at least 100 research papers. For a researcher, he want to do a research, he need 100 research papers. So just imagine how much cost he have to spend. If he don't get the research papers, what he will do? It will definitely hamper his research. So he can't able to do the qualitative research. So developed countries, it will provide freely. The institutions will provide freely. But the students in India,
Some colleges are even providing scholarships.
Scholarships for what?
Scholarships for people who are pursuing PhD.
Yeah, they're providing scholarships for PhD, but no, that is okay. If they want to purchase, we are talking about the research articles here. The research articles, for example, how it will work. So you know the OTT model, right? OTTs, Amazon. If you don't have Amazon or Netflix, what you will do? iBomb. No. I will tell you, but it was very much related to here. Because similarly, the same, there is one researcher, like her name I forgot. Nikhil. She. Yeah, I forgot her name, but she's from Russia. She is also a researcher. She also wants multiple research papers. But everything she has to pay a lot. So what same like IBOMA, she pirated. How she will pirate it? Because some people, for example, in America there is one researcher. He has the access because America is a rich country. They will purchase all these research papers. If you use his login ID, initially when we open it, asked about your institutional login ID. So if you enter your institutional ID, you can download every paper for free. So he will provide his details to her. So same like IBOMA movie rules, she started the Sci-Hub. So without paying single penny, you can download every research article from the internet. Every research article. Same like IBOMA and movie rules. So what it means, who will affect with these kind of things? The publishers. Same like Amazon, Netflix, how they will affect? The publishers, the top publishers like the ACS, American Chemical Society, Royal Chemical Society, Nature. These all publishers definitely will affect because you are reading it for free without paying. If everyone is watching the Netflix content for free, so how they will get the money to do series? Unethical, right? It is also IPR violation, intellectual property rights violation also. But what her intention was to provide the research for free, everyone. Like because of this Sci-Hub, even I used many times when I was in India. Yeah, Sci-Hub. So what government want to do is, it want to take this Sci-Hub role, but paying the money to the publishers. So with one nation and one subscription, so all the institutions will be registered in that. So the government will pay to those kind of publishers some amount every month or every year, whatever the agreement they make. So legally and rightfully they will take the publications with cheaper. Same like the movie rolls is owned by the government and it is paying money to the Amazon and Netflix. Same, that one nation, one subscription model is exactly same. No. That one nation, one model. So you can directly type here, one nation. So you can directly go into the website. This is the website. So you can log in directly with your login ID, user login. So if you are associated with some institute, for example IIT Bombay, so they will provide you login details. You can login ID, you can download any kind of article. That article fees is paying by the central government directly to the publishers. Same like movie rules is owned by central government, and the movie rules is government is paying the money to the Amazon, Netflix, like everything. Other than the concept you understand, right? So the whole motive was to bring the research as affordable to every researcher in the country. So what will happen if they make this research paper affordable? So they can make the quality research and increase the position of India in the global scale in the innovation in science and technology and STEM fields. So that's why this is very important. Maybe you may not have that much associated with the research, but if you ask the people who are associated with the research, it is very difficult, especially if those researchers are from the smaller universities. For them, getting research papers are very hard. Even today, they will send that link to the foreign friends in their foreign friend, and they will ask them to please download that article and send to me. That's a big task for them. Because that is very important. They have to know, if they want to conduct some research, they have to know what exactly other people are doing or exactly what people are doing. What will happen if they don't follow the global, means what if they don't follow what is happening around the globe, what they can duplicate the same work. Time waste. And also the problems may face already solved by some other people. So the research papers providing to research is a very fundamental right. Like for example, providing an internet to us. How the internet is a basic right for us today. providing a research papers is a very basic for the researchers. So that's what government want to address with this one nation and one subscription model. So just they want to replace this Sci-Hub role. The Sci-Hub throughout the world they used to provide. Like for IBM, sometimes you get different kinds of domain names. They always change the domain names. .es, .as. A little change will be there.
We need some keynotes.
Yeah. So what these top researchers, research publications, what they did, they went to court, Delhi High Court on Sci-Hub, and Delhi High Court told you have to cut it. It asked the government to stop the Sci-Hub domains in India, and these all top publishers all went to throughout the courts of all top companies, so all top countries. So these publications they went to court to the US, England, every country where the researchers are more. Similarly, they also went to Delhi High Court to close this Sci-Hub. So this one nation, one subscription is exactly to answer the needs of researchers, and it was launched by the government in 2024 and access to around 13,000 journals. 13,000 journals, 13,000 publications they can access with this one nation and one subscription. And coverage 6,300 institutions, 1.8 crore researchers and students, and funding 6,000 crores because they are giving the 6,000 crore worth of money to these publications just in the scheme of one nation and one subscription. You understand the concept? Yeah, same like movie rules, it is owned by the government, but it is paying money to the publications. Yeah. So what is its goal? Equal access across the India, Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And it is also part of the national education policy. And democratize the research and reduce the reliance on piracy. So this is very important. Same, if you can't afford to watch the movies in Netflix or Amazon, what you will do? You will go to iBomb. Here also they will go to the Sci-Hub. Sci-Hub, even now it is working. You can download the journals with the Sci-Hub. But with these, it will be more fair. If Amazon is providing the free net series, so why you will go and watch the same thing in iBomb? Same, right? Yeah, same here. So that is the things. So what are the benefits? Legal and affordable access. With Sci-Hub, you won't have this legality is not there, right, cyber? But here with one nation, one subscription, you have the legal access and reduces dependence on Sci-Hub. Promotes the collaboration and knowledge sharing. What are the challenges? It is not giving for private universities. So it is not for private universities. So which is a discrimination kind, right? So government should also add the private universities. But why they are not giving this access to the private universities? Because the private universities usually charge more fee from the students. So they have money to afford to buy. They have money, for example, SRM. To take the big private universities like the SRM or Geetham, big universities. They have huge money. They can pay the publishers money and they can get the publications. That's why government is not giving that access to the private institutions. So what is the conclusion? So can partly fill the gap post Sci-Hub, but long-term success needs, and expanding the conclusion. So how like in the scientific community, there is one strong, everyone is asking that, so these publishers should not take any charge and it should provide all the research articles for free. This kind of notion is there from long time. So if the government is taking this kind of one nation and one subscription, it is against those kind of notion. So all the researchers are asking that publishers should not charge any money, and they want to provide the open access journals. So the open access journals in the sense, so who will pay the money then? Publishers are giving it for free. So who will pay the maintenance charges, all these charges? So who are publishing, they only pay the fee. If I want to publish some scientific article, I will pay $300, $200, so that with money they will maintain. Publishers. So this is already there, because some of even my research articles, some are open access journals and some are paid. So if you go for the open access and by paying the money, what will happen? So anyone can download anywhere in the world for free and they can read. So by that I will get more citations. So many times, so they in research articles you have to, this is some kind of some complex thing. So if you use another person research paper in your research, you have to give the reference. So if I do the open access, because my journal is available for free, he will definitely have the higher chances to give the reference of my article. So researcher quality will be judged by number of references he get. If I get the more number of researchers, which means I am a very good researcher. So that's why most of the researchers, the rich institutions, they will go for the open access journals. Because they will go the far higher reach. You understand? Yeah. So that is the story of one nation and one subscription model. And next, seventh one is Project Arohan. This is as simple as that. The NHI starts, NHA, for the toll gate employees, children. So it is giving the scholarships for the toll gate employees, children. That is the Project Arohan. Just remember the name. In the prelims perspective, it is important. NHA. What is NHA? Authority of India. So it gets money from the toll only, right? So it is giving a little bit of the portion to the toll gate employees' children for their educational support. Kind of a social justice. So launched by NHAI to support the children of toll plaza employees from weaker section. Objective: remove the financial barriers, ensure the equal access to quality education. So what? Initially, the 500 students of class 11 to the graduation, they will support the annual scholarship of 12,000 rupees. If any of your parents are working in the toll, like that, so you can apply the scholarship to the NHA under the Project Arohan. So you will get 12,000 rupees as an annual benefit. And 50 students are selected and 50,000 each they will get. Who has the less income? Weaker section. Less income. So welfare, what is the significance? Welfare of the toll plaza employees and promotes the social responsibility and impact. Financial inclusion removes the education cost and burden. So this is a social justice scheme. Why they are doing? To release some burden of their toll plaza employees. Just remember the Project Arohan. Next, Rahul Gandhi. This SIR, yeah, the special intensive revision, it's always there in the news. So what is this? At least from 2 months it is there in the news, more than 1 month. Yeah, very boring. So what ECI did was, it removed some list of the names. Around 2 million people they have, around 6 million people they have removed from the list. And what opposition is telling, same like the Kerala story. So opposition is telling that, so most of the people which are removed were Muslims. Muslim voters are mostly marginalized and removed from the electoral list. But ECI telling was, we removed only the people who has the multiple votes and who belongs to the Rohingya community and who are not having the Indian citizenship. So both are in. So if we listen to both persons' opinion, everyone thinks it's right only. But who has to judge? Supreme Court. They went to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, what it told? It told to the ECI to release the list of the names which deleted. And what kind of categories they belongs to. So then we'll get some fair idea, right? So the ECI is in the process of doing that.
And now they are allowing this Aadhaar card and PAN card also.
So the same thing, Rahul Gandhi is telling that discriminately he deleted the number of people from the list. But Election Commission of India, it is telling that no, we very carefully we have chosen to delete the list. And it is asked the Rahul Gandhi to give the up-to-date apology. You should apologize to Election Commission by submitting your up-to-date, and it went to the court case, went to the court. Because Election Commission of India is a autonomous body, constitutional body. So these are some constitutional and legal frameworks which are associated, and yeah, Supreme Court ordered, yeah, this is very important. The Supreme Court ordered the ECI to publish the deleted names and reasons, the transparency. Simple, right? We can say, tell both people are right. What Congress is telling right and what Election Commission also telling right. So if we check the names, which are the names which deleted, so we get the clear idea who are telling. So that's what Supreme Court told to release the list of the names which it removed. So if it didn't provide the names, so what does we have to understand here? If Election Commission of India didn't provide the names, what we have to understand? Government using it as a weapon, not postponing. So two more are there. This Jan Vishwas Bill, because this whole concept of this Jan Vishwas Bill is to decriminalize. Like for example, if you like in kind of a after post-independence or pre-independence, if you bring a buffalo onto the main road and if you take the milk, and you have to be punished in the 6 months jail. Yeah, and there are some kind of laws which are these kind of underground laws are there. And if you are a shop vendor and if your weight is not right, so they can imprison for 3 months or 2 years exactly. Decriminalizing these kind of small kind of petty cases. Yeah, that is Jan Vishwas Bill 2.0. So they are replacing, like for example, if your driving license is there and it got expired, so they can arrest you and kept in the jail for 3 months if you didn't renew. So they want to decriminalize those kind of things. So there are so many underground laws, these kind of laws are there which may be so much surprising for you. Even today they can arrest you and they kept in the jail. So that's why government want to bring those kind of bill in these kind of. Yeah. So these are the different kind of acts which they want to address with these kind of Jan Vishwas Bill. The name itself, the Jan Vishwas, means they want to build the trust in the public by eliminating these kind of small petty criminal offences. So mostly these kind of criminal offences are replaced with fines. So what is the conclusion was? No jail for small mistakes, only the warnings and fines. For business, easier compliances. Even for MSMEs, if you don't register properly, they can arrest you and kept in the jail. So they want to remove these kind of things in the Jan Vishwas Bill. So for courts, what will happen? Already the number of load on the cases on courts are too high. Even if these kind of cases also went into court, so it will be in a pending for thousands of years. Yeah. So punishment culture to build the trust. That's why it is called the Jan Vishwas. So it want to bring the trust in the public. So that is next. Next, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. What does this scheme means? Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. It's finished the 11 years, 11th anniversary, the 11th birthday of PM JDY. So previously, for example, a woman, a rural agricultural woman, yeah, bank accounts, financial inclusion, bank accounts. In the previous time, if she want to get the money, to where she has to go? She has to go some local money lender and she has to bring the money. And if government is giving any money to her in the form of subsidies and all, so many subsidies are evaporated in the middle. So it won't reach to the woman. So who will be the main casualty here? That woman. She will be the casualty because she is not receiving the proper financial aid from the government, and also she are unable to access the financial services like the bank. The bank, you have to maintain a minimum balance. For example, if you take the account from the PM JDY, you can maintain a zero balance account also. So which means, like, have you heard the Jam Trinity? So this is called the Jam Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, Mobile. If the same woman, she got the bank account under the PM JDY and with the Aadhaar was linked, and what are the gas subsidies or the whatever the money she is getting are directly transferred to the bank, and there is no intermediaries in between, and definitely she will get the beneficiaries, and now she has the more income compared to other, and she was less exploited to the outside forces. Yeah, financial inclusion. So that is the whole concept of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, and it completed the 11 years. So nearly under PM JDY, 50 crore people got the accounts. 50 crores of Indians got the accounts under PM JDY, and it is also have the Guinness World Record. In just 1 week, 1.8 crores have taken the account. And it covered around the 56 crore beneficiaries. Maybe many of your parents, your bank accounts are associated with the government. Directly, whatever the money government is disbursing is directly coming into your bank account. Previously, it was not like that, right? You have to go to the nearest officer, your president, village president, and you have to take the money, and he will take some part of it. Yeah. So that is the Jam Trinity. So Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile. DBT, you heard the term DBT, right? Direct benefit transfer. That is happening through like Jam Trinity. Directly it will go into the bank accounts. Yeah, that's true. The governance should always be like that. So when the goods will become cheaper, if you eliminate the intermediaries. Same like how when the government policies will come as perfect as from the starting stage. When you remove the intermediaries in between. Yeah, compared to previously, but it was like you can't 100% eliminate the corruption. It is happening, but they are creating the fake bank accounts and they are taking the money, but they are not taking the money directly from you, right? So somewhat it addressed, like maybe 100% it is not, but compared to the previous times, it was helped to include the people, especially the rural section people, into the economy. The financial inclusiveness was much higher with the PM JDY. So this DBT, direct benefit transfer, is very important for the financial inclusion, which indirectly it helps the Vikasit Bharat, the greater goal of India. So these are the 10 topics for these last 3 days current affairs. Okay.